I want to do a quick side-by-side comparison for you on a couple pairs of Air Force One highs. I was waiting until the price is right. Up top, I've got this pair for $79.97, and it was actually 30% off at the Nike factory store, so it was just under 56 bucks. And then over here, another pair of high tops that I picked up at the employee store, and they were just $50. But let's start right here. I'm very pumped about this pair of shoes. I remember when it first came out in January of 2015. It's the Nike Air Force One High Edition. I say Nike because the back of the shoe actually has Chinese characters for Nike, and it's spelled N-A-I space K-E. Now, this pair of shoes came out to celebrate the Chinese New Year, and it's what I like to think of as the very first of the remastered Air Force Ones. In recent times, Nike's gone to great trouble to try to retro their shoes and make them more like the way they were when they originally came out. In particular, they've done this with the Air Jordan line, and they've been doing it with a lot of Air Maxes and Dunks as well. And this is the first of the Air Force Ones. You can see it's white and red. Really nice, clean-looking shoe. I remember when these shoes launched, they only released in China, and they were selling on eBay for like 600 bucks. And I sort of wanted them, but I was not about to pay that crazy amount of money for a pair of Air Force One highs. So here they are. They come with the red ankle strap right here. And a nice detail here is that they actually come with a couple of white ankle straps as well, so you can change it up. The shoes are leather with red suede swooshes on there. Really nice, clean Air Force One. Now, the shoe's been remastered, and so the shape of it is different, the shape of the swooshes are different, and I prefer this to the way that the retro Air Force Ones were looking for years previous to this. So let's pull out a pair of those and have a look at it. And by the way, I mentioned that this was the first of the remastered Air Force One highs. Every month this year, Nike's been coming out with an Air Force One high in a different colorway, and they have the same shape as this one right here. And actually, this isn't even the only one that has the Nike branding on the back. They did it on a pair of red Air Force One highs, probably some other ones as well. Let's check out the pair that I picked up at the employee store. Here it is, classic, white on white. When you look at the box, it says Air Force One High 07. Now, let's remember that the Air Force One originally came out in 1982. It was named after the President's Air Force One airplane. And in 2007, Nike did a big to-do for the 25th anniversary of the Air Force One. And they even made some modifications on it and started calling it the 07 edition. So a lot of your Air Force Ones in your collection might say on the box 07, and it's because the shape of the shoe is like what Nike did in 2007. When we compare these side by side, the shapes are different, the material's different, even the stitching right here is different. Like, have a look right here at the stitch pattern versus on the one that's more like the originals. But probably the biggest difference is the swooshes. You gotta love this almost fat belly swoosh. Looks the way they did in the early 80s versus this edition. I don't know, something about these 2007 editions, they just look and feel like they were just mass manufactured and cranked out in a factory. And like the mold and shape is just not like what the original ones looked like. Now, that's not to say that these ones aren't also cranked out, mass manufactured, but have a look at it. It's much more true to the way the Air Force One used to be when it very first came out in 1982. I couldn't pass up a deal less than $56 for the Nike Air Force Ones, and then $50 for the classic white on white. Now, actually, buying these Air Force Ones was not only inspired by the killer deal that I got. One of my followers on Instagram sent me a package, so I want to open it up and show them to you. I did a video last week on waffles, big surprise. Actually, I was talking about the world's smallest waffle, and I broke out this right here, which is a pair of 2C Nike waffles. And I mentioned that 2C was the smallest of all the hard bottom Nikes. One of my followers on Instagram reached out to me and said, "Hey Jordy, 2C is actually not the smallest of the hard bottom Nikes." And he said, "I have a pair of 0C hard bottom Air Force Ones that I want to send to you and give to you." So thank you very, very much. Let's check them out right here. Here we go. Proven wrong by one of my followers on Instagram. You can't imagine how much stuff I've learned along the way from all of you. I wasn't born with infinite Nike knowledge, and I'm still learning every single day. And what better way to get a lesson on hard bottom shoes than also to receive this really cool gift. So check these out right here. Actually, it's Velcro, even though it looks like they're laces. And there we have 0C. These shoes are 10 years old. And now back about 10 years ago, obviously, Nike was making 0C hard bottom shoes. The shoes come in a gift pack with, check this out. It's like a little bib, and you'll notice that it says Air Force One 25. Well, Baby Force 25. But 25 is a nod back to 2007 for the 25th anniversary of the Air Force One, when Nike changed the shape. So everything sort of all comes full circle with the bib. Thank you so much for schooling me and for sending me these baby hard bottom Air Force Ones, and it's been a pleasure walking you through the differences between the Nike Air Force One High and the 2007 edition white on white Air Force One High.